We are playing on Autohaven,
Gas Heaven.
Gas Heaven. Yeah, so a bit of a spicy map. Main building is a bit challenging. We get an instant stun there. Grenout gets a stun on Angels, and we're going to be taking the chase towards Shack. We are not taking any chances. What's your thoughts on the pre-drops?
Well, definitely good on him for doing the pre-drop, but I'm mostly focused on this positioning because going away from Corrupt is incredibly, trying to chase Incorrupt is incredibly important, and he's quite literally like in the middle of a bunch of generators. So I don't doubt that he's going to try to either get down far away from where the others are, and they're gonna do the generators that get uncovered, or this happens where somebody that was on a generator near the chase gets attacked, which very good on Angels for recognizing that immediately.
That is fair. Yeah, absolutely. We did see Ruin go down there. So we're down to 3 perks. But you just saw Angels throw the kick in on that generator. So the plan
like
B
Eruption.
from Ruin was Eruption. Yeah, so we got Eruption activated. We did get the tag on Xeno, so we're doing this chase here. What's your thoughts on them changing this so that there's no open door here anymore?
I saw that
like
it was. I saw it was like Hens made a post about it. How he's one of that was one of the suggestions he made as a consulting program, which I have to say I like it. It's not too bad because the survivors do have a pallet there. But because it just was kind of uncomfortable to play around when the killer couldn't decide whether to open a door or not.
One thing I really like about it, and just in general, is a lot of times doors don't feel like choices. There are some doors you always open, and some doors you don't. So they felt like jobs. They felt like tasks you have to complete. Back in the old Midwich days, you got to kick out the doors in the window rooms, and if you don't kick them out, then they got a strong window. So you got to take a second to kick them whenever you get a chance. That door feels like a choice. As you saw, Blight with his mobility opens it up and does it. We do see the first gen hop. We got our first hook coming in, and we got an injured Pedro here. So things are this is a very key part. Pedro is going to find a corner to die in. Which allows him to get the free unhook on Xeno, but we are entering Slugville again, and we're going to try and continue this tunnel out.
Yeah, going to the corner of the map was absolutely the best choice, keeping him farther away so that they were able to actually get that heal off, which if they went down any closer, they definitely wouldn't have gotten that heal. Very smart on their part.
That was insane. I don't know if you saw. It's like he was going to try and hit Xeno, but the Nancy was able to pinch off, and the hit came in on Nancy, even though it looked like Xeno was right in the hitbox. Xeno doing some POV tech in here and staying alive. We do only have one person other than that up. Grenout just went and picked up Pedro in the corner, so Grenout's doing a little bit of medic work, a little bit of damage control, while Xeno is continuing this chase. First hit does come in on Xeno for the second hook.
And Xeno tries to go for a little mind game as Angels almost goes out of the door, but he stayed inside and just completely negated the mind game, and now is able to get this nice hook on Xeno. I really wonder, and Xeno's the only one with hooks yet, so this is a really good pattern to keep up, especially if he starts slugging everyone else except for Xeno again.
I really like the patience from Angels there. It could have been very easy to like, he bounced as the slow vault came in, and it's very easy for your muscle memory to just, you flick and you break the pallet, and after you, milady, to the vaulter, and then they get away from it. So that was a really nice, really good patience. We did see the heal come in on Pedro, so that means there is a 1 med kit allowed in this match, I believe. So it could have been a self heal. I didn't see who had the med kit, so it's unclear if that was time off gens or just a solo heal. And we still have the Nancy is injured, and we're getting to the end of Xeno's hook state here. Do you think they're gonna be able to come in for a double on hook, or what's the plan?
I think that they have to try to at least extend, like, they're definitely using their exhaustion perks to try to make it there in time, but, and they do end up getting the trade from the speed boost and the exhaustion.
Was that a sprint burst or a live? I didn't see an explosion.
I'm pretty sure that was sprint burst.
Okay, well, because the first unhook came in was the Nancy, and usually you'd think sprint burst with deliverance, would be a thing, so it's... Oh, they went for the people play! Oh goodness, they are throwing bodies and house states in front of Xeno to keep him alive a little longer. And he manages to flare out angels, and my goodness, Xeno's gonna die, but Xeno is making it very difficult and very costly for Angels to do it. Angels leaves and goes for a slug.
Yeah, and we do see the slug starting to build up, that pressure starting to build. The only person not slugged is the injured person, and now that is at a very high risk. As we saw, like, he can just come back at those two people that just got slugged. Like, he knows locations because if somebody gets gets picked up, they know that, oh, they're in that area. Gives a lot of information. For example, the Granout just got picked up, so he knows to go right back to main building, and he does, and does find him.
And it was weird because in that corner there, where the Nancy jumped in the locker, the Claudette was there as well. So you were dealing with the two injured survivors who were there. Grenout was slugged, and obviously Xeno came to pick them up. Oh well, actually, you know what? He sprint first. He might have unbreakable actually. Another flare. Angels looking a little bit. I praised Angels for some patience earlier, and it looks like that patience is running thin, getting a little bit overzealous on these swings. Looks like he's just going to leave and come back to see if he can find a reset or some gen progress going. Looks like they're just bypassing the healing and going for gen progress. We are chasing some blood and scratch marks over here. We got a nice little gen setup over here, but he does see a crow fly, and I mean, what do you do here? Do you go for slugs on everybody else, or do you, if you see Xeno, do you say, go for the kill?
For Elysium, their prerogative is absolutely keep Xeno alive, and they weren't able to fake out the locker. Angels was patient enough on that aspect, but the essential part is keeping Xeno alive and not letting themselves all body block or get slugged or whatever, because they cannot afford that, because if they all get slugged and then Xeno dies, they lose.
It's really interesting because okay, so that gen popped. I think that was main building there. It's interesting because everyone's staying injured except for the death hook, which is smart, but everyone else is staying pretty injured. So Angels is going for these slugs. That is going to be, he's going to force pull on the locker. Yeah, okay, force pull on the locker. We do see the heal come in on Swatter, the full heal on Swatter.
Doesn't commit still. Oh, wait, what?
Wait, what's... That was interesting. Okay, not sure what that was. So, you know, you're talking about keeping Xeno alive. You know, Elysium's a far better team than far better survivors than I'll ever be. But if I'm them, I keep Xeno on the farthest generator, away from all the. He's working on the gen progress far away. There's one by Shaq. I think that's Xeno's gen at this point. Although we are down to one gen, so there are no safe gens at this point. And things are looking good for the survivors now. I'd say we've got
only one death hook.
One death hook. Pedro gets unhooked. I think that's second wind, I guess, on Pedro. But yeah, and it's getting away from him. He wasn't able to get that tunnel out, and it just shows how important the tunnel out is in getting down to a 3v1 as soon as possible. He sees Xeno, and maybe we go for that tunnel out now, but it might be a little too late.
Oh, he goes a little bit too far, and is not able to make back the reach around before Xeno can make it around the car. Okay, and we do have garage open here. Just even though there's not that generator is complete, but it creates a more open main. Perhaps for some easier looping, or maybe an easier hitting space for Angels. And Angels does get a down. Does not commit to any sort of hooking. Definitely a good choice. I assume he's going to try to just slug everyone except for Xeno until he gets Xeno.
This is a crazy gen split, though. Like, they're diagonally across the map. Like, you've got one down in the corner tucked in beside Shaq and another tucked in the corner beside Main. You couldn't have two further gens. It seems like they're putting pressure on the middle gen and the main gen, we'll call it. But, I mean, I don't know why that main gen. I feel like we might be having a little bit of survivor brain here. Oh, the Dead Hard!
And narrowly avoids the Dead Hard.
I wouldn't call that baiting Dead Hard, because he was going for that hit, but it worked out anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
And there goes the last gen.
He gets the window in time. And
so what are we looking at here?
Far enough.
3 hooks so far?
Yes. We only have Xeno on death hook. Ignore Xeno is most likely going to try to go for a fresh hook in order to improve the score. and the only fresh hooks. These are actually the last two fresh hooks. Yeah, the only other one that has been hooked is Claude. Yeah.
Yeah, hooked Claudette, hooked, double hooked Xeno. So you're gonna be seeing now. Obviously, what we're seeing here is Claudette. It's probably on that door. Probably has it, and it's open. Xeno's trying to be a pest and say, "Look at me, I'm a way nicer person to target." But he does. He splits the uprights and gets between the survivors and pulls off the downing Nancy. I think we pulled. This is close. This is gonna be 3 extra stages. So this is a not great, but a reasonable response. Anything less than 6 is going to be rough. Are they going to go for this unhook? I imagine Xeno might come in and do it. I think Grenout still has Deliverance, right?
And now trying to go for the kill and down. Oh no!
Oh, she did have Deli.
Oh my god! But she had
I don't like
overcome,
bringing.
So overcome on Deli. That's pretty nice.
I don't like bringing Grenout. Shouldn't have been anywhere near there.
Yeah, Grenout also another fresh hook.
That's the fresh hooks, right? That was questionable. Like, I think he came in to take a hit and give Nancy more chance to get back to the door after her Deliverance, right? But that was, I don't know. I think Grenout stays way close to the door there, so something like this doesn't happen. They might just take the outs now. They're bleeding hook states. Looks like 1, 2,
and
or
two of them are here, with Xeno being the only one behind. One of them goes back into the map.
Xeno's going.
And
Xeno's on his way.
One escapes. So, if Xeno gets caught here, then that's pretty much a guaranteed kill on him, because no one can go for save on that.
This is saving one hook state, but you.
True. That is very true.
Ace isn't safe. Ace has a head start and has 10 seconds of immunity, but Ace is not safe. He does manage to pull by him, and he gets him. Now, can he get Xeno, though?
Oh, and Xeno is not going into the gate, trying to give his friend a little bit more time to get in through slug state.
Careful with this pickup, because there is a flashlight lurking. Okay.
Okay, just securing another hook stage.
So now Xeno, there's no point for Xeno to trade, because it's the same hook stage. Okay, so that is going to, that's 6, right? We're talking 6? No, it should be 7 now. Because he hooked Nancy. So he got 1 hook on Nancy, 1 hook on Claudette, 2 on Xeno, and 3 on Grenout. So that's 7 hooks. That attempt at the end to get less hook states cost them a hook state. So, wow, interesting perks. No ruin this time. What do you think about that? The change up in the build.
Very interesting. Just something else. I think I might know what the intention is. Just like I think it's trying to be more effective in tunneling. If I'm reading what the perk does right, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I know what it does. Yeah.
Oh yeah, so
I think I know.
We can talk. We're allowed to talk about it, right? I believe we're allowed to talk about it. It's because we're on delay. So number 1, obviously, it's got 2 effects, right? We're talking about the Gift of Pain. The first effect is it basically gives you Sloppy Butcher when you get hooked on a Scourge Hook, so slower resets, right? Other than the people. And then the other side is if you do get the heal, and this is where it kind of plays to maybe the wing condition. I don't imagine you're going to start spreading hooks around, but if it gets to the point where you need to great crouch tech, if you get to the point where you need to start splitting hooks around, it does, when you get healed, it does slow down the repair speed once you're full health again, until you get hit injured again. So that's probably not going to come into play as much. It's probably more of a way that you can get Sloppy Butcher from an M2 killer, right? Because Blight doesn't apply Sloppy Butcher on his dashes. But very interesting. They do manage to trade Jaw's first hook for the gen. Now you'll notice here. Sorry guys, we bugged out the killer. So right now the killer looks like he's face camping. He's not face camping. Oh, there he is. Something happened, so it looks like he's reset now. Okay, there we go. Okay.
But
good old spectator bug.
The thing that I was most looking at was Dying Light.
Oh, I thought you meant the. I'm so sorry. I meant the other one. Dying Light.
No,
yeah. Okay.
I know. I definitely know what Gift of Pain does, but Dying Light is quite the interesting choice. And we do see that the obsession is the one hook, the only one that is not affected by it.
Of course.
So it seems as though the strategy is going to be to tunnel the obsession And anyone else that needs to be put on hook can go onto a Gift of Pain hook in order to make it worth it by making it so that even when they do heal at a slower rate, they do generators slower while he's tunneling.
So I do believe,
and
actually,
with Dying Light too, right? Doesn't Dying Light affect generators?
Dying Light. So Dying Light slows down everything for all the every hook. You see, there's one token right now because of Angel's hook. Every hook that other than hooks on the Obsession will slow down. I believe it's 3%. I might be incorrect on that. I believe it slows down all things, healing, generator progress, and stuff like that by 3%. It doesn't affect the Obsession. Now, I do believe if you kill the Obsession, it deactivates.
Yes.
It either deactivates and you no longer get tokens, or actually I think what happens is it deactivates and no longer works. So unfortunately, tunneling out Jaw is kind of messing with with that perk. But you know what's better than 3% slowdown on gens?
What?
3v1. So I don't think you worry about that.
Exactly.
You know?
It's definitely the one matters most. So
yeah, I don't think you worry too much about the Dying Light value when 3 versus 1 value is worth a heck of a lot more.
Yeah, especially with these, the synergy is actually quite exceptional because every single hook that's not the Obsession not only makes them need to take longer to heal, it also increases time to complete the generators no matter what they do. Also, locker play turned into a down, and this was, I believe, second wind, so I don't think she got use out of it, unless it was
Deli.
Deli, and I didn't see it? Oh,
yeah,
wow.
It was the Deli. So, and that's why it looked like he was, maybe, Xeno was thinking, maybe I slug here, but assuming Unbreakable, so. Because she was the one, Angels was the one who, Claudette, was the one who went for the unhook the first time, so.
oh yeah,
Deli.
no, I remember that.
Zappis did for the people, Jaw, while we were focused on the that locker play. That was a really nice locker play, by the way. Like, it's really interesting. Xeno did the opposite of what Angels did. Angels did the I'm gonna fatigue, just kidding bump. I'm gonna fatigue, just kidding bump, and then swing when they get out of the locker. Whereas Xeno just saw her get in the locker and insta swung so that she was still in the get in animation, and then getting out, she just had no time to. The Claudette had no time to get away. So. Interesting. 2 different sort of like locker blight mind.
Yeah, ways to do it. Absolutely, and breaking the pallet in just I really love Blight because half the gameplay I swear is just spent in the animation, the pallet breaking animation. But we do see a down right quick right after coming out of a shack. Like, he wasn't able to get any filler pallets. We see the Cod head pointing at Xeno.
The old if I had a flashlight. I call that the if I had a flashlight, you'd be in big trouble play.
You'd be in big trouble, buddy.
Just imagine my finger is a flashlight. You're blinded. Yeah. Anyway, so interesting. No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to jump in there. I just found that really funny. Interesting to note too, with the For the People play, For the People transfers of the Obsession over to Zappis. So even though Jaw is dead, now we have 4 stacks of Dying Light, which is I think it's 3%, so 12% slower gen repairs for everybody except for Zappis right now.
Maybe Xeno is betting because we see it common. Like, it's very common. I mean, DS is also common. I think Xeno was like betting on the Obsession getting changed.
It's a fair bet, right?
Ooh,
yeah,
because both DS you could tunnel and maybe get the DS person, or like tunneling somebody else other than your current Obsession.
Well, and I also think that, okay, so let's say, hypothetically, you kill Jaw before the Obsession, as Obsession, it goes away. I think as soon as somebody does For the People or DS, I think that when you reactivate the Obsession, I think that then it reactivates the perk. I might be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure that's the way it works. So
maybe that too. Yeah, you're right, actually, I think.
By the way, this is our 7th hook. We're not there on freshes yet. Zappis is not fresh hooked yet. But this is going to be essentially, we're not tied. Technically, if they finish all the gens and get out, I believe Tremor still wins this. But the next hook will be the win for Elysium. So We're getting close.
And stopping on the generator kick because Eruption was on cooldown. Tries to see if he can mind game anybody hiding behind the trucks. Seems to be no one there. And finds Cloudar right outside as a sitting duck near one of the generators. Zeno checking it, seeing that she ran away from it, so...
That was unfortunate. I think Angels thought that maybe Zeno would assume that she was going for the main building window. So she just did a quick U-turn and went for the pallet, but was really far from the pallet. That was not a close play. Like, you know, that hit on second Jaws second down on that pallet. That was like a, you know, I don't want to call it paint, but it was a pretty close like hit through the pallet.
Yeah, it was.
That hit there was not. We're down to a 2v1. They do pop the second last gen, but I do believe the win condition has been met, so that's going to be Elysium winning this round. But we're still playing it out. It's a 2v1. Zappis is like, you just loop him for a minute and a half, and I'll finish the last gen. Let's go. You know, looping a Blight isn't hard, right?
Yeah, unable to break the pallet, so she lasts just a little bit longer. This wasn't dropped earlier due to, you know, funny circumstances. And sticking close to the pallet while Zeno immediately goes and is just viciously attacking this generator, making sure it doesn't get done. Cannot have that.
Ooh, and down.
Him before he can get outside of main building.
Even a fast vault, I don't think he makes that. Like Zappis got the unfortunate medium there, but I'm pretty sure that's a that was a swing through the window and you don't get that. So.
Ooh, and almost a smooth hit through the tires, but the limit is just too much. Couldn't swing far enough. But I believe as a 115 killer, he just gets this.
Was that a dead hard bait? What's happening there? That was the unbreakable on Zappis? That's so interesting. Zappis is not the deli survivor. So that's very strange. Zappis was not... Okay, so I want to look at... Rue, at the end of this game, can we take a quick look at the builds? Because I'm very curious. Because I get the unbreakable... Sorry, I get the deli overcome, but deli without unbreakable is very interesting.